Takumi. I'm going to do things a little different. I'm actually not selling any services from my company. I work for Mirum. We are in we're a digital agency. We work on digital transformations. But today, I'm actually going to share an idea as well as to sell, not really sell, but validate an idea, a side project that I'm actually currently working on. So one of the important things is about validating your ideas. A lot of times, startups struggle with this. So it's all about delivering things that your customer wants. It sounds simple, but for startups, I think it's quite a challenge. Thank you. So if you're from an agency, you already know this concept. Sell, design, and build. One of the important things is you have to sell first before you start designing or even building. But a lot of startups, they usually get stuck in design and build phase and try to sell afterwards. So it's important that you need to be able to sell first, get your customers, then design the product based on what your customers want, and then build it. And the thing is, you already have your customers, and you've already built a community. So validate your startup or your next idea by selling first. So customer commitment is measured by money paid upfront. So for all our clients, whether you're working in an agency or actually it's mostly agencies, what we do is the clients will actually pay money upfront. So we usually get millions, even hundreds of thousands. They pay us first based on the idea that we sell. Okay? So it was said by some wise businessman. So let's say you're validating your idea, and if no one buys, it's okay. It means that you need to go back and work on it. So go back to the drawing board, change your idea a bit, and go back and try to sell that idea. So if you go with designing and building first, you wasted a lot of time because you haven't sold your idea to begin with. So by selling first, you know that your customer wants whatever idea you're trying to sell. 30 seconds. So this is the idea that I'm trying to promote. Okay, I've called it the 3 simple truths to propelling your startup forward. So here's the elevator pitch. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is build a community of startups who are interested in propelling their startups forward. So it's resources curated by an online community, which startups. It's built by startups. So I'm going to be upfront. It's going to be $37, but I'm only going to take 150 people. It's because I want to create a small knit group, really just for passionate individuals, to build a community that would help others. I was thinking of doing it for free, but I realized that for past projects when we did it for free, no one really contributed because when there's no value tagged to something, they don't contribute. And I didn't want to make it too expensive so that it deterred people from joining the community. So I just kept it at 37. I thought, worth, like, if you buy 3 mugs of beer, it's about the same. So what we normally do is if you have a product, before you start designing that product, you have a rough idea of what it's going to be. So what we normally do is you create a pitch deck, something like this, with your product, and you reach out to a community saying that, okay, this is an idea I'm working on, right? And you try to validate that idea by coming to events like this, and then see the response. So when you're meeting with like-minded individuals, you'll bounce back ideas back and forth, and then you realize, maybe it wasn't such a great idea, and go back to the drawing board, and then modify your product before you actually go into production. So that's how it works. So it's actually a guide, a roadmap. So why I priced it at 37 is because you'll be part of this community building this resource. So to be honest with you, there is no finished product. That's why it's 37. So I would say in terms of the product being developed, it's about 60% done. So before I go into 100%, I want to make sure that whatever I'm trying to do is relevant to the starter community. So it goes back into what I'm trying to, do what you preach. Yes. So it is a platform. So it's called the 3 Simple Truths. If you
where all the staff come and work together? Or
yes. Yeah, so this is where the startups will come together and then share ideas. So it's really about helping, bounce off ideas, trying to figure out how you can contribute to another startup, maybe, and when you're in a group with like-minded people, there's I don't want to be cheesy, but it's there's a chemistry. You build that kind of chemistry, and it's contagious. So it helps you, keep focusing on your startup, whatever you're building, and so that's the whole community I'm trying to build. So I'm trying to keep it small, because I'm not trying to make $1 million, trying to sell it to everyone. I really want to keep it small and understand, get a good small group of people who are serious about, propelling this startup forward, and trying to kind of like craft resources, content that is relevant to them. So again, it's really about validating ideas. You want to try to validate as early as possible, and let's say if I get 0, then I know, hey, then I need to go back to the drawing board and try to tweak that. One of the things that I faced was there are a lot of great resources, but there's no step-by-step a roadmap or an action workbook like that we can take to guide us to where we want to be. I think one of the key things is when you're starting up, you get discouraged. So it's good to also have seasoned startups as well, just so that you have a good reference of a lot of pitfalls. But I believe that your startup or even how you do your business will improve when you help others as well. There are a lot of other startups that's probably facing the same challenge as you. So it's really to put together a group of people who are going through the same challenges. And one of the other phases that I want to introduce is really, have those that sort of made it, offer like coaching or that sort of thing. But that's gonna be long ahead in the future. I guess it determines on your threshold for pain. I mean, if you want to see 0 for a long time, I salute you. But usually, even for our agency, we have to be very agile and quick to change. So if you do a validation to maybe a large group of people, and you get 0, that's usually a good sign that maybe it's not a good idea. And it's something that you probably have to go back and even ask your target audience, and it's a good way for you to really interact and get the product out based on what people want. So I know it's like a really oversimplified idea, but the idea of getting money first is a real way that, hey, your idea is genuine, and it really is something that people want. So if people don't give you money for your idea, then you know that it's not working.